So I am Bruce Stevenson, and we are today's dental consulting. We only work with offices either using or switching to Open Dental software, but we have no affiliation with Open Dental nor with Divergent Dental. What we're going to talk about in this video is one of the products that we've found to be very useful for our clients, but that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm the guy on the upper right. Linda Piccinini is my partner in today's dental consulting on the upper left. And on the bottom left is Matt, and the bottom right is Kevin, who are the participants from Divergent Dental. Now, they both have dental management backgrounds. Kevin founded the company, and Matt now is in charge of the day-to-day operations. Divergent Dental does a lot of different things. In this video, we're going to concentrate on the morning huddle, which is my favorite report in here. And in a follow-up video, we're going to talk about the daily dashboard, which is really good for bonus calculations, and also some of the other reports that Divergent Dental does. Now, the cost for Divergent Dental is only $159 a month. And well worth it. Great return on investment for what you're going to get. So let me jump in now to the video that we recorded.
Divergent Dental came kind of out of a necessity for me specifically, and then for us. We were tracking things, but it became a labor-intensive thing where somebody in the office was spending anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half every day just pulling numbers from our practice management software and then plugging them into spreadsheets and pulling it all together. So not only was it taking time, but the manual nature of it became error prone.
So you guys tell us, what does Divergent, just big picture, what does Divergent Dental do? What does it offer a dental practice? And then talk about the specifics in there, the morning huddle,
Cool.
the daily dashboard, which are my two favorites, although you got a lot of other weekly and monthly reports just to make things easier for offices.
Yeah. So back to what I said earlier of I wanted something that was incredibly easy to use and incredibly focused. So it's not an online portal. It's not this something that you log into that you have to remember to pull up and look at every day or however often you want to look at it. I built it for me and maybe some of my laziness tendencies where I was like, I want it sent to me automatically and I want to be able to look at it when I look at it. So all of our stuff is email driven. It's PDF attachments, very basic technology, but every smart device, every computer, it doesn't matter if you're Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, any device you have that can access your email, you can use our service. And so that was the idea of whether you're sitting at your desktop in the office or if you're on vacation on a beach somewhere and you're pulling it up from your iPhone, it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to look at our stuff. You're going to be able to have some sort of benefit from it. And so it's all email driven. It's all automated. It's not something you have to upload any spreadsheets. Everything's automatically extracted, and that's an ease of use. But it's also accuracy is another value that we have. Like we know that our numbers are not some subjective thing of how do we define something. It's we're pulling raw data and we're making objective reporting data available to you. That's the kind of the nutshell of how it works.
So the morning huddle was great for our team because we send it to the entire team. Everyone in the office had their own email. They got this report every day so that when it came time to get together in the morning for our huddle, we were all prepared. We didn't have to do all this extra research to figure out who was coming in, if they had money due, if they had appointments they needed to schedule before they left. Extensive treatment plans. We are already prepared because of the information that was in this report when we sat down to have that meeting together. So it made it more productive for us as a team. It made it more productive for us as an office, going through the day-to-day operations from start to finish when a patient came in till they checked out and they left. It was just a great centralizing piece of our morning that we could all talk about, be familiar with, and use on a daily basis. So the nice part about this report as well, not only on a day-to-day kind of patient snapshot, you knew how the business itself was doing, right? We had our numbers right there. So we knew what we were on track for production goals. If we were on track for scheduling patients to come back for return visits, how are we scheduling new treatment? All of this kind of stuff was included in this report. And once you have it in front of you and you understand it, it's really easy to digest and look at these.
And it's
look at
organized.
these things. It's so organized.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, a lot of offices do not have morning huddles, which I think is a mistake.
A mistake. Yep.
So I've been watching a lot of these airplane crashes videos.
Oh boy.
And one of the things that they emphasize is what's called a stabilized approach. So you're landing the plane, and a stabilized approach means you're the right speed, you're the right descent, right altitude, you're lined up with the runway. You know, all those things are a stabilized approach. Now, you're not necessarily going to crash if you have an unstabilized approach. You're too high, or you're off to the right or the left or whatever, but you have to work a lot harder to get the plane on the ground. And I think a lot of offices that we see are basically have an unstabilized approach to the day. Okay.
That's a great analogy.
It's full of surprises. Okay. Which surprises are good at Christmas time, but not so good in a daily basis in the dental office.
Or an airport.
And so just having, and I say the morning huddle should take 8 minutes. Okay. And the reason 8 minutes is because you start at 10 minutes before the hour, 10 minutes before the first patient, and you end 2 minutes before the first patient. So you're not keeping that first patient waiting. So this comes by email to as many people in the practice as you want to get it. You, the dentist, or the office manager. So, Matt, can you kind of narrate these things? Linda said how important she thinks the birthdays are. That last patient, let's see if you guys can see. Can you see my cursor? Mm-hmm. So this patient is a little hard to see on here, but they're bold on there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that means they have a birthday either last week, today, or next week.
Yeah, it's within a week of this particular appointment.
Yeah, and you know, it's just such a nice, personable thing to do for everybody in the office to wish the patient happy birthday.
Absolutely. You know, and it's easy. It makes that patient feel super special and recognized.
And if everybody in the morning is looking at this piece of paper, we're big on being paperless, but you know, this is a good piece of paper for a display device, and you can take notes on it. And so I'm sitting there, and it's not going to be highlighted in green like this, but I can put a big circle around that to make sure that we wish the patient happy birthday.
Absolutely.
Again, it's just such an easy thing to do, but it's a practice builder. Okay, I'll shut up. Go ahead, Matt. And
you got it. So let's look at that appointment scheduled section there in the middle. That's really the meat and potatoes of this report. So you know it's organized by operatory, and it goes from start to finish, one operatory at a time, from left to right, top to bottom, just like your appointment module does in your open dental. So you can see who's coming in, how old they are, what they're having done. Then that unscheduled column there, that's our shorthand for what's in their treatment plan, right? There's two numbers in there. One of them's in parentheses, and the other one is a dollar figure. So that number in parentheses is the number of procedure codes that exist in their treatment plan that's not scheduled, right? And then the dollar amount is the total of all those procedure codes. So you know at quick glance, if their unscheduled treatment plan is extensive based on number of codes or just on dollar amount, right? And that does not include anything that they're in for today, only unscheduled procedure codes. And then family balance, obviously that's pretty recognizable what that is. That's whatever in their family balance in open dental. And we're looking at 30 days or older in that column there. And then miscellaneous, this is an important column. So most offices nowadays are sending out text messages, emails to confirm. We want to make sure that information is present. So if it is not, it will remind you to collect an email or a cell phone number. It'll say no email, no cell. In this particular case, this is helping remind the office that there's recalls due. That FAM due is telling us that patient's family has a recall that's outstanding, it's not scheduled, and they're overdue, right? So it's an indicator to say, check the family, make sure everyone's scheduled. If they're not, hopefully we can get them on the books before they leave. That rec due, REC, that is an indicator for that particular patient if they're overdue for their recall exam. That right there. And if they have both, well, then they're overdue and their family's overdue. So it's just a nice indicator to say, hey, check out the recall schedule. These people are missing appointments.
You know, it's very, sorry for interrupting, but it's very hard to do two things once the patient leaves the office. One is collect money, okay, and the other is schedule them an appointment.
For sure.
And so this reminder, let's do this while the patient's in the office. We have a mantra with 5 things to do before the patient leaves the office. The first 2 are schedule their next appointment and collect the amount due.
Yep.
So there we go. We can see who's overdue. The balance is overdue. We can see, that their recall is due. Let's schedule it while they're in the office. And ideally, I think in the operatory. Why let them go up to the front desk? You're waiting for the doctor who's talking to a patient in room 1 forever. So the chairside's got a perfect opportunity to schedule an appointment.
Yes.
The other thing that I like to do with this, okay, so we got the whole team sitting here. Everybody's got their piece of paper. And again, we like paperlessness, but piece of paper is a good display device. It's also good to take notes on. So I mentioned I'm the hygienist, okay, and I'm going to circle this and wish that patient a happy birthday. But I am the office manager or the doctor or whoever's chairing this morning meeting, and I look here and see how much treatment this patient has pending, unscheduled treatment. Okay, who is going to talk to the patient about this? This is not a front desk job. Okay, this is the person in the operatory. Okay, so in this case, this looks like it's going to be a recall exam. So this is the hygienist. And say, okay, Carol, the hygienist, look at this treatment plan, because unfortunately we find a lot of mistakes in there. Yeah, this treatment got done, but it was entered twice and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so look at the treatment plan, first of all, and clean that up so it's a real treatment plan. And secondly, talk to the patient about it. So Carol, the hygienist, this is your job with this patient. And so we got another one down here coming in for something else that's got treatment pending. And here's somebody that's coming in for a crown. They don't have, they got $9,000 to almost $10,000 of treatment pending. So, okay, chairside, your job, Linda, your job is to talk to this patient about, find out the treatment plan is correct and see if you could schedule that. Because you've got a captive audience there. The doctor's running late, and they're talking to Mrs. Jones forever.
That never happens. Yeah. Stop making stuff up.
So let's use the staff and make assignments.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then me as the doctor or the chair of the meeting, at the end of the day, to come back, and you don't have to check on all of them, but then go, hey, Carol, what happened about that patient with that big treatment plan? Or, hey, Linda, go ahead. But you said just ask them casually, okay? Because that way they know you're looking at this stuff. It's not just, he told me to do it, but I'm not going to do it. Go ahead,
and
Linda.
this support helps the staff, so they're a team. They're working together, okay? They're not against each other like so many offices. What does the front office do up there? Front office, what does the back office do up there? They're working together as a team.
Yes.
That's really
huge.
helps too.
Yep.
This report.
That column, the unscheduled column, just for fun, I went in here and added it up for a couple. I don't know what happened to the middle column in here. It didn't come out. But here is one column for one day in that morning huddle is $20,000. Here is another office, another day. That's almost $100,000 in unscheduled treatment. I went back and looked at these because I couldn't believe it was that high. And this one that's not showing up that's in the middle was $28,000. Okay, this is, people used to say you've got $1 million in treatment plans in your chart rack. back in the days when we had chart racks and when $1 million was really a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
But $100,000 is still a lot of money, and it's one day. You know,
one
I
day.
mean, what if you only got 10% of that scheduled? You know, that's $10,000. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that information, how would you know?
Yes. And you've got a
Yeah.
captive audience. They're sitting there right in the chair. So in this video, we concentrated really just on one report in the morning huddle in Divergent Dental. In the next video, we're going to talk about the daily dashboard and particularly how that's very useful if you're going to do a bonus system that actually works, and also touch on some of the other reports in Divergent Dental.